Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. This is not the algorithm bringing you here today. This is an urgent interception. You did not stumble upon this message by accident. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. They always described you the exact same way, did they not? Too kind, too forgiving, the one who stayed quiet just to keep the peace. And because of that, they severely underestimated you. Welcome to your era of quiet authority. They thought their betrayal would finally break you, but instead, it activated a primal level of spiritual power inside you, and this raw energy is terrifying them. Do not swipe away. Heaven is about to expose exactly what is happening behind the scenes right now. You need to see this truth. Those who plotted against you are watching everything they built crumble. A glorious table is being prepared for you in their very presence. The universe has officially placed them in a divine timeout. They are losing it all while they are forced to watch you win, because the scales of justice are finally tipping in your favor. The heavy attacks you faced recently are not random. They are hard proof that your enemy is panicking. Why are they panicking? Because a massive wealth transfer has just been approved in your name. They drained your energy for years and thought they could get away with it. They took your radiant light and used it to build their own counterfeit kingdoms. But the universal law of justice is balancing the scales right in front of their eyes. You can literally feel the shift in the atmosphere. The people who ignored your texts are suddenly feeling incredibly uncomfortable around you. The narcissists who tried to bury your reputation are waking up to their own daily nightmares. Every single door they try to open is violently slamming shut. Their harvest of deception has finally arrived at their doorstep. They are trapped in a prison of their own design, and they know you hold the only key. And now the tables have turned with violent spiritual force. The ones who mocked your gentle heart are begging for a fraction of your peace. The ones who abandoned you in the storm are currently drowning in a shallow puddle of their own making. You do not have to lift a finger to punish them. The universe is doing all the heavy lifting for you. Meanwhile, your long season of painful waiting is officially over. The universe is stripping them of their stolen power and handing it directly to you. But you must be prepared to receive this massive blessing. If you leave this message now, you will shut the door on the exact miracle your soul has been crying out for. You must stay and listen closely. There is a reason your spirit has been so restless lately. You knew something was wrong, but you could never fully explain it. You watched others succeed effortlessly while you struggled just to survive another day. You knew deep down that you carry a much higher potential than you express. You have felt wonderfully different since you were a little child. Your intuition was always sharper than everyone else around you. But that beautiful gift slowly went silent, with absolutely no explanation. It just faded away. You tried to meditate, and you prayed for hours. You pushed yourself to the point of absolute physical exhaustion, but the painful gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that exists right now remained unchanged. Before we go any further, I want to hold something incredibly important in front of you. Something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a research laboratory. Something that won the highest scientific recognition available and that most chosen ones have never been told about. Because it explains something I know you have felt. It explains that massive gap between your daily reality and your true kingdom potential. I will show you exactly what was found. But not yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was violently taken from you. The people who hurt you were only a symptom of a much deeper spiritual suppression. You have been fighting an invisible enemy for decades without knowing it. So I need you to hold this specific question in your mind as we continue to move forward. What if the massive gap between you and the effortlessly blessed ones is not a character flaw? What if the block you feel has a real scientific name that no one ever told you about? What if what was taken from you has a physical frequency that can easily be returned? Make a firm promise to your future self right now. Do not let this vital message fade away. The truth about your ultimate test is about to be revealed. The darkness does not want you to hear these next empowering words. If you take your eyes off this screen, you will single-handedly strip yourself of the exact key you desperately need. This is the key to recognizing your divine kingdom connection and claiming your ultimate victory over the shadows. Everything you have been waiting for is hidden inside the next few minutes. The revelation is going to change the way you walk through this world forever. You are about to step into the exact timeline you were born to rule. Take one deep breath and prepare your spirit for the truth. Listen carefully to what I am about to say next. I need you to understand something about the deep exhaustion you carry every single day. You wake up feeling like you have already run a marathon. Your shoulders are tight. The physical weight is intensely real. And every morning when you open your eyes, the heavy exhaustion is already sitting firmly on your chest. You push through your day. You smile politely for them. But inside, you are barely holding on to your sanity. You have spent your entire life pouring into cups that deliberately refuse to fill yours. You gave endless chances to people who did not deserve your grace. They recognized your pure empathic energy immediately. They saw your brilliant light and used it. You thought you were just being a good person. You believed that if you loved them hard enough, they would eventually change their toxic ways. But they never did. Stop blaming yourself for the heavy delays in your life. Stop thinking you did something terribly wrong. The universe deliberately slowed you down to protect you from rooms you were never meant to enter. The deep rejection you faced was not a punishment. It was a strict divine protection protocol designed to save your soul. They did not hate you for shining so brightly. They hated you because your presence naturally exposed all their hidden darkness. You might be wondering why the universe allowed them to drain you for so long. Why did your spiritual shield seem to fail? This brings us to a shocking, ultimate revelation. There is a hidden mechanism blocking your prayers. It was never your lack of faith. It was the constant hum of a forced survival state. Here is the terrifying truth they never wanted you to find out. The reason the universe responds to certain people is not just faith. It is not about discipline or relentless hard work. It is actually a very specific brainwave. Scientists have a formal name for it. They call it the gamma frequency. And it is the exact physical state your brain was naturally running when you were a little child. Think back to those beautiful early days. Ideas always came effortlessly to your mind. Learning felt like an exciting, magical game. You somehow knew things. You knew things were going to happen long before they actually did. The entire world felt like it was completely on your side. But then, adulthood arrived. The cold modern world went to work on your brilliant mind. The chronic stress of survival mode hijacked your daily routine. The glowing screens hijacked your attention. The rigid school systems trained you to conform. Every single year, this sacred frequency was pushed a little deeper below the surface. They suppressed your divine inheritance. When the gamma faded away, your natural genius faded right along with it. Your razor-sharp intuition slowly dulled into anxious overthinking. The profound synchronicities stopped happening in your daily life. You were left in pure survival mode. The beautiful sense that the universe is actively working with you went completely silent. The version of you with lightning, intuition, and incredible luck was locked away in a dark room. You felt totally lost. Most people will live their entire earthly lives without ever knowing this tragic suppression happened to them. But you are absolutely not most people. You are the anomaly. Remember the question I asked you to hold earlier? The important question about a massive gap and a hidden scientific name. The answer to why you feel so blocked is closer than you could ever imagine. I will tell you exactly what this is called before this message ends. Do not ignore this crucial sign. Take a slow and deep breath right now. Let that realization settle. Do you feel that slight pull in your chest? That is your awakened intuition finally confirming this absolute truth. You are not crazy. You are not delusional for feeling totally disconnected from the shallow world around you. Your spirit has simply been starving for its original high frequency. You have been running a powerful engine on the lowest grade fuel available. Find one quiet place right now. Put your heavy burdens down for just 1 second. You survived the brutal storm entirely alone. You walked through the dark valley of betrayal without a single person to defend you. You became the sharp weapon you were desperately trying to survive. The intense loneliness you felt was absolutely necessary. Heaven had to isolate you. Heaven had to isolate you to break their wicked, parasitic attachment to your beautiful soul. Your current isolation is not a terrible curse. It is a strictly enforced, divine quarantine. The universe is heavily guarding your fragile energy field, while your original frequencies try to reboot. You are currently in the middle of a massive spiritual upgrade. The painful physical symptoms you are experiencing are just growing pains. Waking up at 3 in the morning is not insomnia. It is your soul attempting to break free from the dense matrix. There is a deeper layer to this strange phenomenon that you need to fully comprehend today. Pay very close attention to my next words. You are about to cross a point of no return. You look around today and notice the empty space. Your personal phone remains completely silent all day long. The people you trusted the most are suddenly gone. And you sit alone in your dark room wondering what you did wrong to deserve this sudden and deeply painful isolation. You replay every single conversation in your tired head. You wonder if you were just too difficult to love. But the hidden spiritual truth is far more complex than your fragile human emotions want to willingly admit right now. Stop breaking your own beautiful heart over these temporary people. I need you to pause and truly absorb this immediate reality. The intense loneliness you feel right now is absolutely not a curse. It is not a cruel punishment for your past honest mistakes. It is a rigorous spiritual crucible that was designed specifically by the universe to protect your sensitive aura from total destruction. Heaven had to ruthlessly remove those counterfeit connections from your daily life. They were secretly draining your precious life force every single day. You were trying to build a beautiful kingdom with toxic people who were secretly stealing your heavy bricks while you slept. Your sudden isolation is actually a highly protected divine isolation. You are being deliberately hidden from the gathering enemy forces. The universe forcefully closed those heavy doors to save your fragile life. You are not crazy for feeling completely disconnected from their shallow earthly drama. Your pure spirit is simply rejecting environments that require you to constantly shrink. You rapidly outgrew their low vibration, and that terrified them to their core. They called you arrogant when you finally set healthy personal boundaries. They accused you of changing when you stopped tolerating their hidden disrespect. And a truly healed person no longer tolerates the terrible confusion that toxic people cleverly disguise as genuine romantic love. You are the empath with solid boundaries now, and your new boundaries are an entirely unbreakable spiritual shield. Every time someone walked out of your life recently, a heavy generational chain that held your family back was permanently shattered. You deeply felt the sharp sting of rejection initially. But that painful rejection was God actively clearing your sacred path. You are being divinely pulled apart for a massive kingdom upgrade. If those toxic people had stayed, they would have tainted the incoming blessing. They would have demanded free access to the powerful rooms you are about to enter. The protective universe simply could not risk your generational wealth falling right back into their incredibly greedy and manipulative hands. So the universe made you totally unappealing to the local lurking demons. This brings us to a crucial piece of the ultimate divine puzzle. You might be wondering why the universe took so incredibly long to deliver your promise. Why did you have to suffer in the dark for so many incredibly lonely years? The agonizing delay was never a permanent denial, of your ultimate spiritual victory. The long, painful delay was actually a desperate divine intervention designed to properly rebuild your completely shattered internal energy frequency. Heaven was busy repairing the broken receiver inside your exhausted mind. The massive blessing has been patiently waiting for you this entire earthly time. But if it had arrived while you were still trapped in sheer survival mode, you would have completely and tragically missed it. You would have accidentally sabotaged the incoming miracle. Your tired nervous system was rigidly wired for absolute daily chaos. The universe had to isolate you to reset your physical baseline. You had to sit in the absolute silence until the pain stopped. You had to relearn how to breathe deeply without constant, terrible fear. There is a hidden message heavily buried inside your current daily struggle. It is something you will completely miss if you let your tired mind wander away from this screen right now. The heavy silence you are sitting in is deeply pregnant with immense spiritual power. Your quiet silence has become a dangerous weapon that absolutely terrifies the dark, manipulative forces. They can no longer manipulate what they cannot directly access. Your strict divine isolation made you completely untouchable. You are absolutely no longer the bleeding empath who desperately begged to be completely understood by the willfully blind and ignorant masses. You are boldly stepping into the mighty identity of the Chosen One. You are the designated cycle breaker for your entire family bloodline, and future generations will endlessly thank you for this lonely sacrifice. Let me tell you the real reason this specific painful isolation happened. This intense quiet period is exactly the sterile environment your suppressed brainwave desperately needs so it can finally wake up again. The genius frequency we talked about earlier cannot survive in constant toxic noise. It requires the sacred stillness you are experiencing right now to properly reboot itself. The caring universe engineered this very quiet season just for your healing. Every single tear you shed in private was actively and carefully washing the heavy dirt off your completely exhausted spiritual receiving station. You are finally ready to catch the massive synchronicities passing through your golden timeline. Your long period of silent, solitary suffering has officially and permanently expired. But there is a deeper layer you must understand before the final door opens. The jealous enemy is secretly preparing one last desperate trap for you. Imagine this for a brief second. The people who walked away from you are secretly suffocating right now. They strutted around like they had completely won the ultimate prize, and they projected a fake image of total happiness to the foolish crowd. But behind their carefully locked doors, their entire fragile reality is violently shaking. The universe has officially placed them in a divine timeout. They are experiencing the exact pain they so casually inflicted upon your pure spirit. Every single project they touch is suddenly crumbling into terrible dust, while their shallow friendships are quickly turning into bitter and paranoid rivalries. The dark karmic debt they accumulated is finally coming due. You might wonder why their sudden downfall is happening right now. Let me tell you the real reason they are losing absolutely everything. It is because they fundamentally misunderstood the true source of their temporary earthly power. They truly believed their arrogant success was a direct result of their own brilliant cleverness, but they were completely wrong about everything. They never had any real spiritual power of their own. They were nothing but energetic parasites feeding on your beautiful radiant light. You were the golden battery secretly powering their entire fake existence, and when the universe forcefully removed you from their toxic presence, it effectively pulled their vital life support plug and left them in the absolute dark. Without your constant forgiveness and endless grace, their darkness is eating them alive. The narcissists who tried to bury you are waking up in cold panics. They desperately search for a new host to drain, but they find absolutely nothing. Your divine isolation did not just save your precious life. It actively initiated their total spiritual starvation. Listen carefully to this next part. You must understand the deep mechanics of their ongoing physical and mental destruction. They are rapidly losing their minds because their manipulative tactics no longer work on anyone anymore. The universe has stripped them of their deceptive emotional camouflage, and everyone around them is finally beginning to see their true, ugly faces. The silence after the storm hits incredibly different when you realize you were the storm all along. They thought they had successfully destroyed a weak victim. They did not realize they had just awakened a sleeping spiritual giant. And your absolute silence is driving them completely insane right now. Your silence is the ultimate weapon of the chosen one. They constantly check your social media, looking for any sign of weakness or terrible pain. But they only find an impenetrable wall of quiet authority. You are not posting angry rants or begging for their cheap validation anymore. You have completely withdrawn your valuable energy from their chaotic game, and that total withdrawal is their ultimate punishment. Take a deep breath and let that profound truth settle in your spirit. You do not need to seek petty revenge against these broken people. The universe is already handling your enemies with absolute terrifying precision. They are currently choking on the very same poison they tried to force down your throat, and you just get to sit back and watch them fall. This is the exact moment the spiritual shift occurred in the unseen realms. While you were crying alone in the dark, heaven was actively dismantling their stolen kingdoms. While you were painfully healing your nervous system, they were losing their tiny earthly minds. The heavy scales of universal justice demand a total energetic repayment right now. They are desperately trying to rebuild their completely shattered earthly lives. But the divine forces will absolutely not allow them to succeed again. Every new foundation they try to pour immediately cracks and completely crumbles. The universe is making a public spectacle of their total arrogant foolishness because they are learning what happens when you mess with a true child of light. And here is the most shocking part of it all. Some of them are actually trying to figure out how to slowly crawl back to you today. They can feel the massive void where your warm healing energy used to naturally reside. They will try to send you innocent messages just to test the emotional waters, because they want to see if the old empathetic victim is still desperately waiting there. But you are no longer that bleeding empath who begged to be understood. You have been beautifully forged into an untouchable master of reality. If you reply to their pathetic attempts, you will instantly reopen the closed energetic portal. You will invite their toxic chaos right back into your incredibly peaceful and divinely protected sanctuary. Do not ignore this next crucial warning. The dark forces often use the familiar faces of your past to drag you backward into the mud. They will use your natural compassion as a dangerous weapon against your newly established boundaries. You must remain incredibly strong and completely silent in the face of their fake apologies, and you must let the universe finish the divine timeout protocol. The massive table is almost fully prepared for your grand arrival. You have survived the absolute worst part of this painful earthly journey, but there is a deeper layer to this spiritual phenomenon that you absolutely must understand right now. We need to talk about the physical manifestation of your incoming divine reward and how you can prepare your mind to finally receive it. Before we go any deeper, type 111 down in the comments to completely claim this divine alignment today. You must anchor yourself now. As the dark enemy violently falls apart, your personal timeline is shifting upward. The universe is currently preparing a massive transfer of generational wealth, and this heavy abundance has your name written on it. You can see the signs everywhere. The first major sign is a sudden and unexplained sense of deep financial peace. You no longer wake up panicking about your earthly bills. A quiet knowing has settled into your tired bones. You somehow know the heavy provision is already secured in the spiritual realm, and the terrible anxiety that used to constantly choke your throat has completely vanished into thin air. You feel incredibly calm today. The second undeniable sign is the sudden return of brilliant ideas. Small flashes of pure genius drop into your mind while you are doing ordinary tasks. These are not random passing thoughts. They are highly lucrative divine blueprints being directly downloaded into your conscious awareness. Heaven is actively handing you the exact ideas, and these brilliant concepts will easily fund your entirely new earthly kingdom. The third clear sign involves strange physical synchronicities. You keep seeing triple numbers everywhere you look. Hidden doors of golden opportunity are suddenly swinging wide open without you forcing them. But there is a serious problem we must address right now. Even with all these beautiful signs appearing, you might still feel stuck because the physical manifestation of your wealth is still slightly delayed. This brings us to the ultimate revelation. Before we go any further, I have to tell you something incredibly important. It is something the elite people who profit from your daily exhaustion do not want you to discover. A brilliant team of neuroscientists working quietly away from the headlines has finally found a permanent way out, and they discovered exactly how to bring your dormant gamma brainwave back to life. They found a way to completely restore your natural frequency. They did it without requiring years of silent meditation that most exhausted people cannot easily sustain. They did not use expensive biofeedback machines that cost thousands of dollars in a sterile clinical setting. They discovered something far simpler, and this gentle tool is much more perfectly aligned with your original divine design. They engineered a specific sound frequency to gently guide your brainwave patterns back to their pure genius state. Highly respected researchers at Princeton University thoroughly studied this exact phenomenon. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed its incredible hidden power. They discovered that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it actually begins to positively influence all the people around you. Your restored frequency radiates outward like a powerful golden sun. It positively impacts your beloved children and your close partner. It literally shifts the physical reality of your entire household without any forceful effort. Just 7 short minutes a day is absolutely all it takes to trigger this massive change. And the incredible activation process begins working the very first time you sit down to listen, because your tired brain is already desperately starving for this exact ancient frequency. You do not have to struggle anymore. You do not have to fight your own tired mind just to manifest a decent life. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called before this message ends. I will show you how to easily access it so you can fully claim your divine birthright. But first, there is something you need to deeply understand about why your breakthrough was severely delayed. Your spiritual intuition was always completely accurate. You knew that mere positive thinking was never going to be enough. You correctly sensed that a hidden physical mechanism was secretly blocking your earnest spiritual prayers, and you always knew there was a missing piece to this puzzle. The corrupt matrix heavily relies on your fragile brain, staying locked in a stressful beta state. They need you exhausted. A fully awakened chosen one is incredibly dangerous to their corrupt system. That is exactly why they maliciously hid this scientific research from the general public. They wanted to keep the ultimate key to effortless wealth securely locked away in their private vaults. But the righteous universe is finally breaking their dark monopoly, and this ancient knowledge is being handed back to you today. The physical tool to unlock your mind is already here. The wealth transfer is actively hovering right above your tired head. Your spiritual receiver just needs to be properly tuned to the correct frequency to finally catch it, because the miracles are already waiting for you in the unseen realm. You are incredibly close to the final glorious finish line. Take a deep breath and let the heavy weight drop from your tired shoulders today. You are finally safe right now. Do you feel that sudden relief washing over your tired body? That is your awakened spirit, recognizing the absolute truth. You are not meant to struggle in the dark forever. You are meant to be an untouchable master of your own reality. But I have to fiercely warn you about a fatal trap first. The desperate enemy knows you are about to step into your golden timeline, and they are preparing one final desperate trick to violently stop you. But wait. Before we go to the deeper signs, I have to address something first. There is a hidden message inside your current struggle, and you will completely miss it if you walk away now. You might be wondering why the final door has not fully opened yet. You have done the hard work. You cut the toxic ties. So why is the massive blessing still hovering just out of reach? I need to reveal the fatal trap that has been set up right at the finish line. 99% of chosen ones fall for this terrible illusion right before their breakthrough. Listen closely to this next part. The dark forces know they cannot break your spirit anymore, so they decided to change their wicked strategy. They are trying to distract your tired mind instead. The fatal trap I warned you about earlier is finally here. It is the sudden appearance of a toxic counterfeit from your painful past. They reach out right when your real blessing is standing at the door. An old friend suddenly sends a polite message. A toxic ex casually checks in to see how you are doing today. They pretend they just want to say a friendly hello. Do not reply to them. That is the ultimate test. The universe is watching your response in this exact second. If you engage with their fake apology, you will instantly reset your timeline. You will accidentally tell the universe that you are still comfortable in the dark dirt. You must ignore the sudden knock. You must leave the heavy door completely locked. The enemy creates these clever counterfeits to constantly distract you. They know your golden receiver is almost fully repaired. They know the divine wealth is desperately trying to land in your physical reality, and they want to flood your clean energy field with their dirty static noise. You have to ruthlessly protect your absolute peace right now. Your peace is your power, but there is another layer to this deadly trap. And this one is far more dangerous because it hides in plain sight. You have been waiting for the universe to just hand you the massive breakthrough. You thought the agonizing delay was a strict test of your personal patience. But waiting is absolutely not the same thing as actively preparing. The universe is not making you wait. The beautiful provision God arranged for you does not arrive as something completely new. It actually arrives as something you finally recognize. A suppressed brain simply misses the divine recognition. It looks blindly at a massive miracle and sees only a stressful burden. The heavy blessing has been sitting right in front of your tired eyes this entire earthly time. The enemy wants you to stay locked in the terrible waiting room forever. They want you to believe you are just not worthy enough yet. They want you to keep begging for a miracle that was already granted to you. Every single day you spend waiting is another glorious synchronicity that registers as totally ordinary and just moves on. Do not let them steal your precious time. You have to restore your physical receiver immediately. Because the divine synchronicities that belong to this season of your life are moving through right now, they are absolutely not waiting for a better version of you. They are just waiting for your frequency to match their incredible height. And once your frequency matches, the heavy gates will violently blow open. This is exactly why they hid the truth about your gamma frequency. They knew it was the physical key to escaping the endless waiting room. They flooded the modern world with cheap distractions and endless stressful news. They built a rigid system designed entirely to keep your brainwaves trapped in survival mode. Because a tired mind cannot catch a high-frequency blessing. Take one slow breath in and a much slower breath out. Feel the heavy chains of deception falling off your tired mind. You finally understand why everything had to happen the exact way it did. You understand why the painful isolation was so deeply necessary. And you understand why the toxic counterfeits are desperately trying to crawl back into your clean life today. Your sharp spiritual discernment is fully activated for a profound reason. You easily know the dark counterfeit from the original light. You can deeply feel the heavy difference in your bones. The pure universe never puts a chosen one in harm's way. The divine path is always heavily guarded by angels, and you are standing right at the golden threshold of your victory. I promise to show you the hidden scientific secret. I promise to give you the exact name of the powerful tool that will restore your stolen frequency. And I am going to keep that sacred promise right now. The time for endless waiting is completely over. The long season of your painful preparation is finished. The massive arrangement is already in motion for you. Do not take your eyes off this screen. The ultimate revelation is finally here. The ancient keepers of this powerful frequency protocol are ready to share it with the chosen ones. You are about to receive the exact physical key you need to unlock your spiritual inheritance. Prepare your heart for the ultimate shift. The dark night is over. The beautiful dawn is here. The waiting season is officially over. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of divine favor. Every single closed door is being blown completely off its hinges right now. Can you feel that massive shift in your spirit today? That is the glorious frequency of absolute victory. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were born to rule. You are no longer the bleeding empath who desperately begged to be understood. The cruel crucible of pain has beautifully forged you into the untouchable master of your reality. From this exact moment on, your radiant energy demands absolute respect without a single word spoken. And the divine wealth you were promised is flowing effortlessly into your brand new timeline. The crucial question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message is finally ready. What if the massive gap is absolutely not a terrible character flaw? Here is the final answer. The mechanism that blocked your prayers for years was never your lack of faith. It was the constant hum of survival beta waves violently suppressing your natural genius. A specific frequency called the gamma wave was running in you as a brilliant child. Highly respected researchers at Princeton University thoroughly studied this exact phenomenon. The Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed its incredible hidden power, and Columbia University found that when this brainwave is restored, it begins influencing the people you deeply love. A dedicated team of neuroscientists spent years working on a powerful solution. Dr. Robert Lake led this brilliant team in New York City. They spent decades compressing the full clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into just 7 highly effective minutes. Before I tell you what they miraculously built, I need to tell you about 2 everyday people who used it. A beautiful woman from California had sadly tried everything. She tried endless meditation and desperate manifesting and tearful prayer, but absolutely nothing broke the heavy fog in her tired mind. After 2 short weeks of listening, she said something finally cleared. Her struggling marriage shifted, and she described her new life as completely enchanted for the first time. A hard-working man from Texas started using it to improve his failing business focus. 2 short months later, his amazed wife joked that his IQ had suddenly jumped 20 points. The hardest earthly problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he peacefully slept. He finally felt his brain was running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his dedicated team built for you. They proudly call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a generic meditation app. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is securely compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you can easily do at home with your headphones on. That is the entirety of what it actually requires from your tired body. Just 7 short minutes a day. You do not meditate and you do not chant. You simply close your tired eyes and relax. You just let the powerful frequency do what your brilliant brain was always designed to receive. It bypasses your conscious awareness and begins reactivating the lost gamma frequency. The Genius Song is absolutely not for everyone. It is heavily reserved for the chosen one who has already done the painful inner work. It is for the rare soul who understands that what is being blocked is not their faith. It is the physical frequency through which that beautiful faith is supposed to freely move. The chosen one who stayed this long is finally ready. Professional biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a cold clinical setting, and complicated in-home machine easily runs thousands of dollars. What the Genius song delivers in 7 simple minutes is available to you today for a mere fraction of its true value, because your divine birthright should never be kept behind a massive paywall. 4 incredibly powerful bonuses come completely free with it today. You receive an audio track designed specifically for your children to activate their focus. You get the original classic prosperity book that the famous secret was secretly built upon. You also receive a guided visualization and a printable daily habits guide to sustain your new gamma state. Here is the deeper truth about waiting for your miracle. The beautiful blessing that has been arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a profound recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes fully visible only when your gamma is restored. The chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always waiting there. Do not look for this ancient frequency on YouTube or Spotify. The fake tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have absolutely no brain entrainment technology encoded. They carry the name because the barrier to stealing it is zero. The only authentic version is securely available through the protected link that has been prepared for you. The generous universe requires absolutely no risk from you today. If you do not feel the immediate shift, then every single penny is quickly returned. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete and total trust. If your spirit confirms this is for you, then the path is waiting below. The link is securely placed in the description and in the pinned comment below. The physical tool is absolutely not the final destination. The tool simply restores the receiver so the glorious destination can be recognized when it finally arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be deeply loved or chosen. What was described is simply one beautiful way the receiver is restored. Now, let us go deeper into what is waiting for you. You have crossed the invisible spiritual threshold today. The brutal season of your painful earthly training is completely finished. The beautiful golden dawn is finally breaking over your tired shoulders. And while the dark enemy desperately tries to rebuild their shattered lives, you get to peacefully walk into your new kingdom. You do not have to fight the heavy current anymore. Your ultimate victory is secured. For the chosen one whose spirit deeply confirmed what was described earlier, the physical path remains completely open. The frequency tool I mentioned is still waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment below. It is there for anyone who is truly ready to restore their original receiver. That is the last time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your sacred sealing. We are going to permanently lock this beautiful new reality into absolute physical existence. The dark enemy is going to try one last desperate trick. They will try to whisper terrible doubts into your tired ear the second this video ends, because they want you to immediately forget your new divine power. But you are absolutely not going to let them win today. You are going to build an impenetrable energy shield right now. You are going to anchor your magnificent soul at the highest possible vibrational frequency. You have walked through the burning fire entirely alone for years, and you came out of those terrible flames as pure and incredibly solid gold. The universe is incredibly proud of your quiet and steadfast resilience. Heaven kept a strict record of every single tear you shed in the dark. Those bitter tears actively watered the fertile seeds of your massive generational harvest. Your deep pain was absolutely never in vain. It was the exact heavy fuel required to launch you into this golden timeline. You are the ultimate master of your reality now. You dictate the exact energy that is allowed to enter your sacred personal space. If a person does not bring you absolute peace, they are immediately denied access to your light. You owe absolutely no one an explanation for your incredibly strict boundaries. Your peace is your absolute greatest earthly asset. The manipulative narcissists are completely locked out of your glorious future. The fake friends who drained your brilliant light are left far behind in the dusty past. You are stepping forward with a perfectly clean and beautifully restored spirit. The massive wealth transfer is actively seeking your exact location right now. The heavy miracles are finally arriving. To permanently lock in this glorious frequency, you must take one physical action today. You need to create an absolute shield of divine protection around your vulnerable aura. Type Amen down in the comments to completely seal this beautiful new reality. Type it like a sharp sword cutting through the heavy chains of your painful past, and claim your earthly freedom. Hitting the like button actively signals your total agreement with what God just spoke to you today. It establishes a powerful divine energy receiving station right where you are currently sitting. Do not let this precious and incredibly fleeting moment pass you by. You have to physically anchor the high vibration before the noisy world tries to steal your attention again. And if this fiery message has reignited the dying faith inside you, do not keep this great blessing entirely to yourself. There is a beautifully rare soul out there bleeding in the absolute dark of despair. They are desperately needing a guiding light today. Share this urgent message with them right now, because sowing the seed of hope automatically multiplies your own blessing. When you actively spread the divine light, you deeply prove that your empty hands are finally open to receive. You clearly prove that the dark forces completely failed to turn your gentle heart cold. You remained beautifully kind in a world that desperately tried to make you incredibly cruel. That is your absolute greatest spiritual victory. You survived the absolute worst storms. You stand here today as a radiant weapon of light, and your bright light is completely blinding your defeated enemies right now. Take one final slow breath and completely release the heavy past. You are finally safe to lower your tired and heavy defensive shields. The divine angels have formed an unbreakable circle of protection around your earthly home. Your beloved children are safe, and your beautiful future is perfectly secure. Walk forward into this beautiful new era with quiet and absolute authority. Your powerful shifted energy will speak massive volumes before you even open your mouth. You do not have to announce your arrival to anyone. You are deeply loved, and you are finally going home.